Welcome to the next episode of VCF Breakroom Chats. My name is Jay Tontakudi. I'm a product marketing manager in the VCF division here in Broadcom. My focus is vSphere Kubernetes service. In these Breakroom Chats, we bring VMware experts, partners, and customers to discuss solutions, technologies, trends, and any topic that is of importance to IT practitioners. In this episode today, joining me is Timmy Carr, who leads the product management team here in the VCF division, and his main areas of focus is Kubernetes stack and cloud consumption stack. Welcome to this episode, Timmy.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jay. Appreciate it.
As you all know, VCF 9.0 is shipping since June. In this episode, we'll talk about accelerating workload deployments with vSphere's Kubernetes service and VCF platform, especially given that we have the new release of 9.0 that has come out. So, Timmy, to get started, my first question has to do with cloud consumers. Now, cloud consumers are looking for a frictionless experience when they want to deploy workloads. I wanted to get your insights on how we go about accomplishing this with VCF 9.0.
Yeah, and I think this gets down to the heart of the matter. Like when you listen to our CEO Hock Tan talk about like what he wanted VMware to do, like when the acquisition happened, he said simply, build a cloud for customers' data centers. Like it needs to be a cloud in customers' data centers. And frankly, we've been telling folks that we were going to accomplish that task for a while now. VCF 9 is like the beginning of that reality. We have a full set of features that customers can use. We've got databases, we've got Kubernetes clusters, containers, we've got networking services, storage services. I mean, we got AI services. We have many of the things that you're going to see in the common public clouds where you're able to enable builders at your organization to actually build on top of this, right? Now, consuming this is a little bit different. We're going from a model where it was a vended sort of service to, hey, I need to be able to go to a catalog and request a Kubernetes cluster. In that same VPC, I need to be able to request a database. In that same VPC, I need to control networking. So we're giving access to builders or consumers in our cloud to do exactly that through self-service portal, through just API access, or through using our VCF CLI, right? And so really this unified cloud experience really allows any builder on our stack to deploy diverse workloads while allowing IT teams to manage and operate these diverse workloads as well. Now, this would all be impossible without a great new integration where we're building a better VCF installer, right? And under the covers, we're taking all of the components that you used to have to stitch together to build a cloud, right? We're talking about networking, storage, like automation interfaces, all of those sorts of things. We have a new installer that guides you through deploying VCF as a part of this. And this is a part of the 9.0 release as well. Really bringing this together into a full multi-tenant experience for your enterprise for cloud capabilities.
Got it. And where does Kubernetes fit in this picture?
Yeah, so this is near and dear to me. As a part of any cloud, you have to have services. And one of the services that I'm responsible for is the Kubernetes service in our cloud. And, for a long time, we've had many different Kubernetes offerings as VMware. Yeah, we're pretty ruthless about centering on one offering. And it's like our need to provide clarity for folks who are using our stack. And the clarity is simple. We are using VKS moving forward. VMware vSphere Kubernetes service, right? VKS. Now, previous users of the stack knew this as Tanzu Kubernetes Grid Service. And this is just built into vSphere, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing you need to know is that even though it's built into vSphere, that this is certified Kubernetes. So the clusters that you get from this are fully upstream conformant, right? They're leveraging to be for their deployment, the best patterns delivered by the Kubernetes community, like the Cluster API project, for example. And they're leveraging many services and many capabilities delivered straight from the CNCF, right? And so when you're looking to get a upstream conformant certified Kubernetes distribution in your cloud, VKS is that offering, right? So let's talk about what it does, right? What does VKS do? We support at one time N-2 versions of Kubernetes. So we recently just shipped support for Kubernetes 1.33. By the way, we ship those within typically 2 months of when upstream drops their release. We'll ship a patch release. You just simply apply that patch to your infrastructure. By the way, that's not a vCenter update or anything like that. You just update your VKS service there. You simply apply that update. You get access to the most recent version of Kubernetes and the 2 versions prior to that. Now, I mentioned that this was a Kubernetes service. I'd like for you to think about this like you think about other Kubernetes services that you get from other clouds. You can give folks access to provision clusters from those Kubernetes services, right? And so it's very possible to give one application team their own set of Kubernetes infrastructure to deploy from. And you could keep that completely isolated from a different application team. What does that do for you as an administrator? That gives you ultimate control over how your maintenance windows work. You don't have to get permissions from this person, that person, and that person all running on one large cluster to be able to perform maintenance tasks, right? Okay, so those upgrades in our environment that we talked about, those are decoupled. Those are less painless for people who are wanting to be there. Now, I think the one other thing that you should know about is we also shipped a long-term support version or extended support version of Kubernetes. So 1.33 is going to be that version. So we're going to give you 24 months of support on that. And when it's time to upgrade, we're going to step you through that upgrade process to that next extended support version of Kubernetes, right? And listen, we're standing on the shoulders of giants here. We're delivering an upstream conformant version of Kubernetes. We could not do this without the Kubernetes community, and we understand that. We give back. Over the lifetime of the Kubernetes project, I think we're a top 3 contributor as VMware Broadcom. We love the upstream community. We actively contribute to Kubernetes etcd, controller runtime, cluster API, which we use to power our clusters, Antria, Harbor, Valero. Like we contribute to many projects upstream to make this possible, and we love the community. So this is community goodness built into VCF that you can deliver to your customers as a service.
So you actually packed in a number of things here. You talked about the frictionless experience from the cloud consumer side, the autonomy in choosing many different services that are possible, and also the ability for cloud admins to simplify their platform operations and with the ability to plan for upgrades while staying aligned with the upstream community. So this is really fantastic to me.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the next question, switching gears at this point. And I'm going to talk about the cloud admins themselves, specifically focusing on the different workload variants. What your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So when you deliver a cloud, all about delivering a cloud is the set of services that you have. And you need to tailor the set of services that your enterprise needs, right? So this may mean that you want to give access to AI services. Like maybe you need the ability to provide, models as a service for your end user. Maybe you need the ability to provide like workflows to build agents that understand your data internally, right? And you can do that on VCF, right? Maybe you need the ability to deliver database services. Maybe you need to deliver, Postgres databases for end users to use. Maybe you need to deliver data services. You have that capability with VCF. I focus, of course, on Kubernetes. So we have the ability to deliver VKS to give to end users. We have the ability to deliver vSphere pods for simply running a container for an end user. That doesn't require a whole Kubernetes cluster. And of course, we have virtual machines, which we use to back many of these things, but we're not just about virtual machines. We're about delivering you a cloud. And with cloud, we need the ability to consume that, right? And what we give folks is the ability to log into their interface. Maybe that's a UI, maybe that's a CLI that they're using, or just using an API. to actually consume those sets of resources. And from an ops perspective, we give you the ability to manage all of those resources as well.
Got it. And from the workload types itself, for example, let's say you have workloads that are a bit unpredictable in terms of the performance expectation. Let's
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
seasonal workloads or bursty workloads. What kind of flexibility do we offer to cloud admins for workloads?
Yeah, maybe we should talk about this. Let's just talk about this from a infrastructure up perspective for a second. So first, I want to talk about how we've been doing this for years. So, what we've done at VMware, right, is we realized when machines were bare metal machines in data centers that those bare metal machines aren't often being utilized completely, or more importantly, there's part of those bare metal machines that's not being utilized completely. Maybe the CPU's hot on one machine. Maybe the memory is maxed out on another machine. Maybe storage IO is too high on one machine.
Right.
Maybe GPU usage is too high on one machine. And at our core, what we have done is we have taken pools of bare metal servers, installed our hypervisor on them, and then we use our algorithm called distributed resource scheduling. And we use the fact that we can move workloads around. And we call this, vMotion for these workloads. We use those things in concert to optimize each underlying bare metal host that's a part of our stack, right? So we take these bare metal hosts, we install our hypervisor on them, and then we're leveraging our stack to be able to optimize where these workloads sit. Now, because we can do that, we can get far greater utilization out of these machines. Why is this important for seasonal apps? As an administrator, I can over provision my infrastructure, meaning I can say, hey, I have 5 servers. People have requested capacity for 7. But what I realize is even though they've requested capacity for 7, when I look at the utilization of my stack, they're only actually using 3 hosts worth of resources. And moreover, my distributed resource scheduling has the ability to optimize those machines, right? And so we've got that capability in the box. So this backs every bit of our cloud, right? We have that sort of optimization under the covers. Now, as we move up the stack into Kubernetes, for example, Kubernetes takes an approach where it can scale up, right? Because we're leveraging a cloud, first of all, we can give users resource envelopes within this broader set of infrastructure. And those resource envelopes, we can allow users to scale up to use all of the resources in those envelopes. Maybe we're going to allow that resource envelope to scale beyond what our actual capacity is in our infrastructure, because we understand it as administrator. Folks are never going to use that much, and they'll never actually, and we can plan for additional infrastructure purchases so they can. This is just good cloud management. And if you're using a public cloud, right, this is what the SREs are doing behind the scenes. We're just giving you the ability to do that in your data center. So we have the ability to grant access to those resource pools for Kubernetes clusters. Of course, within these Kubernetes clusters, we also have the ability to use cluster auto scale or other auto scaling mechanisms within these Kubernetes clusters, allowing workloads to scale out effectively. And because we're using virtualization, we rapidly provision another worker node to our guest clusters to allow more capacity when that's needed. Now, because we have a control plane that's monitoring all of these requests, we also have the ability to scale these to 0. So we give you very, very, very optimized delivery of your infrastructure here. From an AI workload perspective, we have custom zones that we can give end users that allow them to consume GPUs that they need. And we have the ability to vMotion workloads across GPUs with incredibly short stun time. So we can actually take an AI workload that's using a GPU over here and move it to completely different host with a completely different GPU. And it's something that we've been doing for VMs for quite some time. We're delivering that for GPUs now.
Oh, this is great. I mean, it definitely shows that we can provide a true cloud experience for private cloud deployments here. Let me go to the next question. The last one, in fact, has to do with security.
Yeah.
to get your thoughts on the enhancements with the latest release and how it helps our cloud admins and cloud consumers here.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. You asked about security. Let's start at the infrastructure layer at the very bottom. We build on our hypervisor, which has been trusted and battle tested in the most regulated environments in the world. With that comes all of the regulatory certifications that our hypervisor delivers. So we are building on top of that platform from a security perspective. Now, we've made a really cool improvement to that platform as a part of our 9 release. We call it live patching. And this gives us the ability to actually patch portions of our stack without requiring a whole bunch of change to your infrastructure under the covers, right? So it's a super, super big improvement for our ability to patch the underlying part of your cloud. Now, I manage the Kubernetes stack, and so let's approach this from a Kubernetes perspective. Building on top of that very solid base and industry certification, we have customers that are working in the most regulated environments in the world, and as such, we have to align Kubernetes to meet those certifications. So recently, over the past, I'd say, year, and specifically in the last 6 months, we've made a lot of improvements. We've supported STIG and FIPS hardening, aligning with the NIST requirements for our stack. This gives customers a very opinionated and hardened infrastructure for running their Kubernetes workloads. Now, those workloads running those workloads, we know that consumers often want to ensure that those workloads are secure. And specifically, they want to make sure that we have traffic that is encrypted between them. And Service Mesh does this really well. We are delivering a Service Mesh offering based on Istio as a part of this. Is a standard package for VKS, fully supported by us, which gives you that ability using mutual TLS to secure these workloads. So really, really great improvement there. We've expanded support for identity providers in our stack. There's some improvements there. And then I think one big improvement that's kind of cross-cutting in our stack is our certificate management. So we're doing certificate replacement and rotation automatically and non-disruptively for our end users. And so, one of the big complaints is it's really hard to replace this cert or that cert. And so we've taken that to heart, I've taken that bit of feedback to heart, and really are working across our stack to make the certificate storing much better. And so I'd say that's a good rundown of the latest and greatest kind of tactical improvements that we've made, but also very deep platform improvements that we've made as a part of our cloud offering in VCF 9.
Really fantastic. I mean, this again continues to show the enhancements we have done to further tighten the security posture. These are some really wonderful insights, Timmy, um, both for our cloud consumers to get that frictionless experience and the autonomy to choose the infrastructure and services that gives them the best operational experience, while at the same time the cloud admins are able to simplify their operations and offer a wider set of infrastructure choices. So really fantastic. Thank you for joining me in this episode, Timmy.
Well, thank you so much, Jay, and cheers. Thanks for the coffee.
Thank you. If you enjoyed this episode, join us for the next one. This is your host, Jay Tontakudi, with Timmy Carr, signing off. Have a good day, good evening. Cheers and bye.